Hi, welcome to Trip Planner. In this brief tutorial, you will receive an overview of this powerful new tool that drives visitors to your museum. But the main purpose of this tutorial is to orient you to the back end or administrative portal of Trip Planner, essentially to show you how to edit content in Trip Planner. Let's get started. So what is Trip Planner? Trip Planner is a new interactive tool that allows visitors to create a personalized itinerary of their visit. Trip Planner is accessible from any phone or computer in the world through a web browser. Trip Planner is not an app that needs to be downloaded. And why Trip Planner? Well, did you know that there are over 400 exhibitions across the Smithsonian on any given day, and nearly 1,000 public programs across our museums? Visitors have asked for a simple overview and an easier way to understand what is on view. Trip Planner approaches visit planning from the visitor's perspective. Instead of having visitors hunt and peck through websites' drop-down menus and tables to find things to do, places to eat, and places to shop, Trip Planner filters thousands of public offerings down to a manageable handful. Through 6 easy questions like, what interests you? When are you visiting? And how much time do you have to spend at the Smithsonian? Trip Planner not only shows which offerings match visitors' interests, but also shows them how to get there. The response to date has been stupendous. Visitors have told us that Trip Planner shows our commitment to a great visitor experience. Now let's dive into an administrative overview of Trip Planner. First, navigate to the URL tripplanner.si.edu/login. In the 2 fields, enter your Smithsonian Network credentials. Once logged in, you will be brought to the main menu of the Trip Planner Administrative Portal. Just beneath the Smithsonian logo, you will find 4 tabs. From left to right, those tabs are Profile, Places, Topics, and Statistics. The Profile tab is where you will adjust any profile elements like email, phone number, your name, etc. The Places tab is where you will review and change anything about any of the exhibitions or events within your museum. These are also known as sites within Trip Planner. The Places tab is where you will conduct the majority of your work in the administrative portal of Trip Planner. The third tab from left is Topics. This is where you will associate thematic topics like photography, must-sees, or history to a site. The Statistics tab is where you can see the usage metrics associated with any of your sites, including the museum as a whole, as well as deconstructed components of public programming. The search feature just beneath the tabs is a natural language search wherein you can more easily locate any site. And finally, the Find Without dropdown is a menu through which you can more easily find sites that do not have necessary tags, which are required to show up in visitors' itineraries. Now, click on the Places tab. Here is a more detailed offering of the Places window. The search feature is again a natural language search through which you can more easily locate any place in your museum. The Find Without feature is a drop-down menu through which you can more readily find places without necessary tags which are required to appear in visitor searches. Select Box. Be very careful in observing this box is or is not checked, as any blanket changes are possible with this feature. The Name column. In the Name column are the names of places, which can be a museum or its floors, entrances, exhibitions, programs, cafes, or stores. Places is a generic term for all the broad features, functions within a museum. Type. This simply tells you what type of place is named in the column to the left. And finally, Quick Enable. By checking this box, you can enable or disable a place. Now click on one of the places within your museum. You will notice the companion window to the right, which has 4 tabs: Basic, Topics, Calendar, and Map. Let's focus first on the Basics tab. There's the site name, which of course is the name of the place. There's the ID number. Each place must have a unique ID number within Trip Planner. These IDs are self-generating for places that are pulled in automatically from Trumba and Access One. However, if you need to create a place, you will need to generate an ID number. Since ID numbers must be unique, it is recommended that users follow this format when creating an ID number. Museum acronym _ first letter of each word in place. For example, NASM for Air and Space _ ANMR for A New Moon Rises. Next is the closing text field. This is a natural language instance of the closing date, for example, the day after Labor Day. The short description. Leave this blank for now. This is a future build Trip Planner 2.0 feature. Long description. An explanation of places for visitors. Scroll down to duration. This is a mandatory field in Trip Planner. If the duration of the exhibition or place is not completed, this place will not show up in the available offerings for visitors on the front end. Now let's look at topics. Now click on the Places tab. Now click on one of the places within your museum. Notice the companion window that now opens to the right. There are 4 tabs within this companion window: Basic, Topics, Calendar, and Map. The Basics tab is where most information for a place is located and can be changed. Within this tabbed window, you'll see Site Name, which is the name of the place, ID number. Each place must have a unique ID number. These IDs are self-generating for places that are pulled in automatically from Trumba and Access One. However, if you need to create a place, you will need to generate an ID. Since ID numbers must be unique, it is recommended that users follow this format when creating an ID number. Museum acronym _ first letter of each word in place. For example, NASM, NASM _ ANMR for A New Moon Rises. Closing text. This is a natural language instance of the closing date. For instance, the day after Labor Day. Short description. Leave this blank. This feature is planned for future build of Trip Planner 2.0. Long description. This is the explanation of the place that visitors will see on the front end. Click on the Topics tab. Here you'll see all the available topics within Trip Planner on the left, and on the right, the topics that are associated to this selected place. Here, in this example, you will see photography and astronomy have been associated with the exhibition A New Moon Rises. Topics is a very important element of Trip Planner. In fact, if the place does not have an associated topic, it will not show up on the front end for visitors. Again, you must select a topic and associate it to the place in order for the place to show up on the front end for visitors. Next, click on the Calendar tab. This is where you identify specific days along with start and end times of events, whether daily, one-off, or ticketed. The calendar feature will be irrelevant for the majority, if not all, of your exhibitions. The calendar tab is really the place to identify any nuanced schedules within your museum, including overall extended hours of a museum. Now, go ahead and click on any date there within the month preview window. You'll notice when you do, a companion window opens to the left. This companion window features all necessary elements of a scheduled event. Session date is the date for which the change begins. Session name is a nickname for you and your team to remember this specific calendar event. Open time is the beginning time of the session. Close, the end time of the session. Repeat, is this session a repeat or not? Click here if it is. When you do, you'll notice an extended window opens to then inform the system of the repeat schedule. Is it a daily, weekly, monthly, or annual repeat? When does that repeat series start? How often, how frequently? Every day, every week, twice a week? It ends never, on a specific date, or after a certain number of instances. And finally, make sure that you save your information once you're complete. Now click on the Statistics tab, the final tab within your administrative interface. Metrics are numbers that tell you important information about a process under question. In Trip Planner Statistics tab, you will find up-to-the-minute accurate metrics about which content visitors are querying the most. Now let's orient you to the screen. There's a lot going on here. There are two parts to this screen. The top half of the statistics screen holds all of the search features, which are the first two boxes. The bottom third and fourth box, or the bottom half of the screen, displays the results of the search. Let's look up top. First, look at the far left, date range. This is where you input the time span for which you seek usage data. Next, the view column. This is where you identify the type sequence by which you want the metrics reported. Do you want the time monthly views, weekly views, seasonal views, or yearly views? The next column to the right, report settings. This is where you identify the level of detail and the format in which you want the report generated. Now let's shift to the box below, the included data box. There are a lot of features here. The first column, buildings, this is of course where you would select the buildings within your purview if you have more than one building. Items, this is a list of all available items. Do you want to look at a report of all itineraries or specifically of exhibitions visited? Maybe you wanted to see how many folks queried places to eat or places to shop within your museum. The third topics tab. This is, of course, you can identify metrics on any of the given or all of the topics associated to your museum's collection. And finally, sites, which are the exhibitions, events, etc. within your museum.